Good morning everyone, welcome back to my channel. So look away now, my purple girl. I finished the little stitchery, so we will have a little look at the finished piece. Came up beautifully. I'm really wrapped with it. I ended up doing some more lines in the background, like I mentioned, going from the darker thread through to the medium purple into the lighter purple. I then finished beading and I'll bring it up closer. I just popped onto my mat here, this background, just a sprinkling of all of those beads from those containers. I've since packed them away, so I can't just show you what they were, but I'm sure you recall. I then worked in those 3 little clusters of roses with a little touch of green. I then found these 2 little beads, buttons. I'm not sure if I mentioned them at the last video, but as I was sort of finishing off the piece, this little pack of buttons came with those packs from Susanna from Vintage Blend Studio. So there were 2 little green buttons, so they've joined the cluster. I put some chocolate little stems in. I ended up going chocolate. I was considering green and I thought, no, I'm just going to make this look like a separate thing over here, but yet connected, if that makes sense. So they're in just with some straight long stitches to connect them to the ground. What else did I do? That's pretty much it. Like, I reinforced all of the beads that were on this little piece of lace that I used to start the garden. So they've all been restitched, as well as that one and that one. I just don't trust the manufacturers that do those pearl embellishments. So I'm pleased that that has, is nice and secure. So my little piece is done. So I'm going to start the next one. So Victoria, look away. Now Victoria's requested dusty pinks, burgundy, like straw colours, creams. Like, I've been admiring her work for a little while. She sends me pictures regularly of what she's doing. So I certainly know the theme that she is. So let's begin. And I can see already in here, see that those 2 buttons? I think we need to find a home for those. So now, was it 12 centimeters is the little piece we need. So snip we go. I'm really enjoying this project because it's small. And I think if you ever wanted to do just some little stitcheries, this is just a great little size. When I first heard of the project coming along, I thought, oh goodness, how do we work within a 10 centimeter space? That would be a bit of a challenge because I'm used to just sprawling out and adding on and just keep building. So it's been actually easier than I thought. If anything, it's helped me to focus my thoughts into a boundary line. So all I'm doing here is drawing my space. That makes sure I stay within it because you know what I'm like. We head off on all these different directions. So now, what have I grabbed to do this project? Not a lot, actually. I'm sort of got my scrap bucket here and I knew I had some dusty pink in here. So I'm going to work with that. I'm going to work with this. I know I had some sand in here. I've got some music. Like, I'm pretty confident I'd have enough here. I've got my lace bits and pieces. Have to be something in here. I might even go down the crocheted lace, but who knows. So and I even grabbed this back out. Now, if you remember in the last video, I used a bit of this purple. Well, this here caught my eye as a potential. So whether that's something, so pretty. Gosh, I wish it was a bigger piece. Could really go to town. Just looking around my room. Dusty pink's not a bad topic for me. That there is another favourite. I've used that in a few pieces. I'm just looking through my containers behind me, see if there's anything that jumps out. That's probably about it. Okay, now let's see what we can do. So we need some nice fabric. Start with your background. Let's get some nice little bits and pieces down. I don't know if I might cut that. Have I got any old? Got some tulle. Here's a bit of old. Oh, we can do better than that. There must be a bigger piece somewhere. Oops. Let me grab my bucket of bigger bits. Looking for something. Here we go. Vintage from France is what we need. What's that there? That's nothing exciting. That's nothing exciting. Oh, I really am chewing through my pieces from France. I'll need to replenish. Okay, let's get a bit of this down first. She's an old girl, this one. Okay, I've already got a mess. How does it happen? Let's just cut a nice piece. We'll cut it on the diagonal, I think. Hang on, let's just make sure that's big enough to even cover the space. Yep. Let's put a good piece of that in. That can go in there for a rainy day. Oh, it's got a pink tone about it, this one. Isn't that pretty? Oh, I couldn't have picked that any better. It's got a very subtle pink undertone to it. Let's have a look. I sort of feel like I need a bit of music in this one. Haven't played with music. Is there a nice little... I think that one there is another music, but I think that's a bit bold. There was some burgundy, yeah, some burgundy sari silk kicking around in there. Even that would work. All right, don't pull too much out. I lose track of where I'm at. Let's add this music as a little feature. I don't know if Victoria is musical, but I'm being drawn to this. I don't know. Let's just clean it up a little bit. It's a bit ratty looking, which usually I don't mind, but we'll start with fresh rattiness by giving it a little rough up. I love how you start these things and you just never know where it's going to go. Let's get this dusty pink in before I... Oh, look at that selvage with that little frayed edge. What's going to be my feature? Sort of not the right colour, but I don't mind it. Let's have a look at you. If I was to disconnect, look at that piece just there. If I was to disconnect that there, it nearly looks like a heart. If I was to plant it like that, it would look like a heart, wouldn't it? That's all connected, that's all connected. I think we could confidently take that off of there, you know. It's going to have a real feminine feel about this piece, I think. Let's just get the big scissors here out of my hand and go with my little fussy cutting scissors. And I don't like how the braid is separating there. You can actually see, I can see what they've used underneath, and it doesn't look right. I don't like the look of that. There's a fluff ball in there. Let's get rid of, oh, that's the inside of the braid. Okay, this piece, I can see the inside, like they've got a cord and then they've wrapped it in probably a rayon or something. I don't know if I can see it. That rayon has separated and I can see the grey tone of the cord underneath. So I'm not liking that. I wonder, but I do love those little flowers. I wonder if I can, I'm going to separate that off of there and let the cord just be underneath it all. So we now have that. That's given me a little, how have they attached that? Okay, so there's a fishing line there. Oh, look at this. Okay, there's a fishing line holding the cord to the lace. Oh, it's not a fishing line, it's a fine. So let's just get rid of the cord, because I feel with time, as you were to look at your piece and potentially touch it with your fingers, all you do is continue to move the cord, exposing that grey internal cord. But if I can remove that decorative element, because let's say it's failed, it's breaking down, underneath, I need to just get a closer look and take my glasses off for a minute. I hope the camera's not focusing in and out and driving you guys nuts. Let's just have a little looky here, because if I'm correct, it looks like an embroidery machine has stitched a basic image, then they've come along with needle and thread, or probably a industrial sewing machine, and stitched this cord in. And I'm wondering if this embroidery underneath could be utilised. I wonder if it's a good shape for a heart, because I know Victoria has a love of stitching. The work that she produces is just beautiful. So a little heart, now is that, no, that's the thread attaching the cord, so that's good. Let's have a little look over this way. Whether it actually looks like a heart's another thing. It might be a bit distorted. You just never know, if you start pulling pieces apart, what you'll find. I just don't want it to unravel either, because the factory or whoever's put this little pack together has trimmed it off of a bigger piece. So is the integrity of the piece still intact underneath? Is the question. So let's have a little look. Here we go. Well, this is surgery. Yeah, you can see it's just, yeah, it's gone. So what have we got here? We have the cutest little heart, and everything is holding together. me just tug a few threads here to make sure that's not attached. That is, but I think I could trim that. Okay. Let's see. We've got a little decorative element. Let's see what we can do with it. Do we like that? I don't think I do. I feel like I need something a little bit more old. Okay, hang on a minute. Let's get my container of vintage fabrics. It's time to replenish a little and find ourselves a good piece that we can snip into. That's not the piece. That's not the box I thought I had. Where are you? There it is. That's a box that had too many big pieces. So hang in there, guys. Sorry about this. But you know, something good will come of it if I take a moment to dig further. All right, now we're cooking. All right, now we've got some good bits. See, I want a bit of this. I love that. Oh, yes. Don't think that's old. Okay, now we've got something. Let's put a little bit of... Now this came from Rachel, so this is Italian, from Italy. Let's cut a little piece of that off. I used a little bit of this on some of the earlier ones. So what am I trying to achieve here? Good question. A little bit of ticking. So what am I trying to achieve? We've got this heart. The cord in under there I'm okay with because it's hidden, and where it does pop out, it's putting a little shine into the piece. So where's my boundaries? Maybe that could tuck in there. Yeah, now we've got, so now we've got our feature. I just need to trim that back a bit. We'll tuck the bottom of the heart in underneath that pink, so it just looks like it's poking up. We'll bring those leaves, just sort of connect that a little bit. Yeah, so now we've got this layered thing happening. I like that. I'm still within my boundaries. Good girl. Where can I put some ticking? Yeah, I like it down there. I'm going to cut just a piece off and I'll use it to anchor the bottom corner. See, I've got my line happening again. So sort of heading in the right direction there. And if I pop that in right on the boundary, yeah. Yeah, I like that. I wonder, wonder if I can disconnect those two and have them peeking out just a little. I might have to refasten those beads, but that's okay, we can do that. Those two little guys, they can come out from this side. I need something to, yep. Now I've moved the heart can go back up in there. Now I certainly want to get some burgundy in. Where's that scrap of burgundy? Oh, look at this. That's like a velvet, dusty pink velvet. Wonder if I could make some additional leaves out of this. That'll just put, oh, yep. I've got more of this. This is actually fabric that I use to make poinsettia petals for my business. So we have these, where can I put this guy? We sell these, I'll put it underneath that flower so it looks like it's part of the bouquet. Oh, I hope this is within the colour scheme. I think so. That's probably a little bit bright pink, but oh, I hope it's going to be okay. I hope you're yelling at the screen, Victoria, going, yes, yes. I feel like I need a little bit of this, but let's get one more velvet petal. So around Christmas time, if you see these fabric poinsettia flowers pop up in all the stores, we use them to decorate Christmas trees. Just have a look at the fabrics in them, because there's some really yummy velveteens and satins and all sorts used in them, and they're often even embellished with glitter. I might put that one in behind just as a third element. Okay, so I like that you can see the music through the little heart. Let's have a look at these buttons, but I think they will work. Little burgundy one. So I could find some burgundy beads just to help bring. Maybe we put them down here. I don't know if I've got that rusty, Albany sort of tone. Let's have a look at you again. So that's folded in half, is it? Okay, so it's a big piece. Might leave it as that. Then I can have the tassel at the top and the tassel at the bottom. And we'll just slide it in there. That'll anchor the piece a little bit. Okay, so let's pin that. Okay. Got plenty of room at the top here to do something if I'm so inclined. But I may need just that air to let it breathe a little. I don't think I need any more jewelly beads. I think that guy's got to disappear a little bit into the background. Yeah, that's better. I am jumping ahead here. Technically, I should be stitching down the background, then starting the next. There's a bead that's come from those, so we'll leave him sit out. Yeah, I do like that, but I feel like I need something here. Oh, I mentioned the crocheted lace. What have we got in here? No, that would be pretty in cream. Like they match, but no. I'm looking for just the right piece in this little box of, I wonder if I can get a crochet piece in something else. I'm just thinking, where's those little rosettes? I'm sure there's some. That's a half one. Like them, not rosettes, they're the motifs. That's a big one. There's one. I feel like this under here might look cool. Yep. Just that little crocheted piece. I still think I need something there. Maybe I'll just put a piece of this through. Might cut a strip. So soft and so delicate. It's really good for toning down a dark colour by laying over the top something a little bit see-through. It's like when you go and add white to paint. Like, I feel like it could be even narrower. What about that piece? Just a little something. Yep, I like how that's got a frayed, interesting. Yep. Oh, okay. That's getting closer. Let's pin that there. Let's take that off of there. Just breaks that burgundy. Little frayed edge, a little heart popping out. Oh yeah, happy with that. Okay. 2 little buttons there I do like. Maybe I'll put the darker one underneath the tulle. Whoops. Yep. Now I need some pins just to pin a few things. I'll move the buttons off now because yeah, they're good. I will remember that. And I'm just going to now start stabbing this little piece. Here's a half doily sitting over here in my pin cushion. I'm wondering, no, not yet. I sort of feel like I could drift up a little bit, but I'll just focus down here for now. Maybe once I get all my stitches in place, it won't need that. Get that music sitting a little bit straighter. Let's get a pin in there. That'll hold the heart and the music. Let's get, I need a pokey tool. Let's get that a little bit more nestled in tight. That'll expose that. And I've pinned it to the board. Might be able to catch that. And put a pin. Where's our boundary? Okay, so the music is just inside good because I want that treble clef showing there. If you're gonna scream music, you might as well at least have that showing. Okay. Everything is sitting there except for that. So let's get Reginald out, our beading needle. Come on, Reggie. Got some work to do, and I'm going to focus in on getting that secure because just doing that alone will get all these layers pinned down. Okay, Reginald, that was good. Most of that should sit in the palm of my hand, so I can bring it up. Push that in there with my thumb, just gently, and just drop a few little. So now that I'm doing just basic stitches, I can have a good think about the rest of the composition. I'm thinking those little velvet leaves, I might dig out a gold thread and stitch the vein of a leaf on with a thread of gold. I'm just going to put a stitch in him before he jumps out, because obviously I'm pushing him around a little bit by doing this. I'll just do another stitch, I may as well. And then he's secure. Makes it easy when it's a colour scheme that you're naturally using. So when you go and pick up your scrap bucket, there's something in there that sort of works already. Don't catch that pin. Come on. I could probably lose it, doesn't matter. Okay, just going to head over to this side. I have got a bit sidetracked here and I haven't finished those beaded leaves, but if I can secure this little guy, way over the perimeter. I hope that's not going to be a problem. I might reposition that, because if Victoria wants to pop this in a little book, she will be cursing me that leaf from that flower is heading out over the boundaries of the. So I might just detach that little leaf very carefully. I think I already have. Yep, enough to twizzle it. No, it's got to come out completely. Okay, we'll come back to that leaf. At the moment, he's off until I find a good spot for him. So we'll just keep stitching. I might as well scoot down here, just with little itty bitty stitches, the good old invisible stitch. So I could bring some champagne sequins and beads into this. Oh yeah, I think this little band at the bottom is going to be where I do my cluster work. I just gather beads and bits and bobs to build up a secondary scene, linking all of the scenes, if that's the technical speech for it, which it's probably not. Can get rid of that pin, put that pin away. Oops, put that pin away. Scoot along here, secure this motif. Okay. Put that pin away. Oh, feels good just to get rid of the pins. You can really then take stock of where you're at with your piece, because everything's held into position. If you need to adjust anything, you just snip the thread and re-stitch. Now let's just get that down a little bit. Reginald, Did you see that? He was so close to going into my thumb, but he thought twice. Good on you, Reg. Just be good. Don't be doing anything. How am I to the boundary? See, I'm over a bit there. Oh, goodness sakes. I'm so sorry, Victoria. I can't stay within the boundaries. Okay. So I'm just working my way back to the centre. Okay. Down through this little guy. I can speed up a bit now. I feel like I'm... And Reginald says, no, you're not. Throws his thread. He's like, slow down. I don't like to stitch that fast. Told you he had an attitude. I probably shouldn't stitch this down too much because I might end up wanting to tuck something in under it. So I'm going to head back into the centre of the motif. Back to those beads. And that's where I cut it. So let's just slide Reg. Oh, Reg, there was a bead you lost. Where did that get to? There it is. Let's pick up that bead, slide back into that there. And that should secure that side that got snipped away from the rest of the motif. I might just put another little stitch up here. I don't want to pin it down too much because it helps when there's a bit of flipping and flopping happening on some of these elements. It helps create a bit of depth to your image. Okay. Thanks, Reg. We might use Reg again, I think. Seeing he's been a good boy today. Where are you, son? There he is. You know what? I don't like that bead. Oh, it's not a bead, it's a button. I love that one. But I don't like him. He's not going on it. I might have a little look. There's a pearly one there. Look how beautiful you are. That one's a bit apricot-y. How are you supposed to stitch that down with a hole in the centre? Must have had like an anchoring point. You'd have to go over it. It's a bit of an unusual bead. Oh, yeah. Oh. And then this little guy, I might nestle up in there. That's better. So it feels like it's blended a little bit more, not so jarring. So I hope you didn't like that one, Victoria, because he's gone. I prefer that one. Okay, where were we? We are, I think, going to start again in amongst these flowers. If I'm going to embellish these petals, I need the petal to be above so I can get to him. Now we still haven't found a home for the second one. Maybe I'll put two down here. And one up here. Yeah, that's better. Okay, Reg. Just catch that one for me, son. Gosh, anyone who's just tuned in to my channel must think I'm a bit of a nutcase. She's naming her needles. She's talking to the needles. Well, the needles aren't talking back to me, so I think that's a good sign. Oh, Reg. Careful. Careful, Reg. You're just a bit of a bull of a gate there, boy. You've caught the flower. it's all good. So I'm just going to catch that little piece. Come right up to the tip of that. I can get rid of that. I can just put a couple little, just dance across the top of this. I'll keep the tulle of that flower connected to the heart up and away from this little stitch, just in case I want to tuck something else in there. Don't think I will, because I think I'll do some stitching through that plain part and create my texture with needle and thread instead of using little elements like I have. So I'm now going to come down to the side. I'll put a few stitches in here. Just to hold that there. Now I think I can scoot across here. And I'll catch this heart right in the centre. I hope you like this, Victoria. You don't think the heart's too cheesy. But I'm thinking of you and your love of stitching and the beautiful work you do. I honestly think you have a real passion for what you do. So I'm just going to follow that heart. And that was a good save, I think, considering that that cordage that they'd used was not what I'd say the best. So there's a little heart peeking out there. Okay, so I think my next job, well, I might finish Reg off. Actually, am I in the vicinity for the button, the pink one? I think so. Let's tuck that pink button in while I've got Reggie up there. Then I might get the cream button into position. Let's just get that little guy. Oh, that's such a perfect match. Thanks, Susanna. One of Susanna's fabric packs had that little packet of buttons. And I used the two green ones because it's on my desk. It's right here. Has been for a few weeks. I used the two green ones on the previous piece. And now, you're so sweet. So I'll just, and what we might do is a tie down on the bigger button. I don't know if that's what it's called, but it's just a different way of stitching a button onto a piece of slow stitch, where you use some crochet cotton, so which I've got here. I'll keep it neutral because I'd rather do that than muck around with, probably don't need a big piece, muck around with another pink. So get your button into position. We'll tuck him in under the bouquet. I want to leave that for beads, so I will come out a little bit. I won't get too tight there because I can bring beads right up to this button then. So I'm going to not put a knot in, leave a bit of a tail, come back up, go back through, and that essentially, you know, at least holds it reasonably secure with at least one stitch. You could probably do it again. And now I've got something I can tie off. I might actually do that again and give myself a little more, because I feel like I could get a bow in there. Let's have a play. We need a little bit more cordage this side so that I've got, yep. Okay, so let's have a go. If it doesn't look right, we can just undo it. So I'm going to knot that so that it permanently stays. Then tie a bow, and then you can have a play with the ears of the bow. It's twisted, so I'll just get that twist out. That's it. Get my ears the right size. Let's just snip that there. I see, once again, I'm hanging out over the edge, like, oh, seriously. And then so that it just stays, I'm just going to pop a dab of art glitter glue in that center. That'll soak into those threads and that won't come out. And it's just another way of adding a little detail to your piece. Yeah, I'm happy with that. Okay, so everything's secure. We're ready to embellish. So what I probably should do is cut my boundaries down a little. I might leave it out a little bit because I just like the proportions of it. So Victoria, I'm going to leave that edge. I'll stitch up to it. See if I cut that back. So it just changes the whole feel. I'm going to leave that. I really, she's going to struggle to use this probably. Let me get this side a little better. Yep. So at least if it's going into a journal, she's got a spine here that she can pivot the page. If she wants to turn that all under and applique the piece so that my calico completely disappears, well then she could trim it. Yeah, look, I'm going to leave it. I just feel like I should. I don't know why. She's a very accomplished lady in the sewing world, so she'll be able to deal with that edge. Okay. Okay, right, just leave that. Yeah, I'm happy with that. This other little guy, I do want to find a home for him. Let's move that out of the way and see if... No, see, I feel like it needs to go up here. But now my boundaries are set, I can confidently add him in. Yep. Just looking up at my screen. Just doesn't quite look right. My edge too is a bit out. See, I've gone over there a bit and I'm a little bit in here. Just going to nibble that back a bit. That's better. That's better. Now, where can I pop you? Maybe it's got to come out more of a subtle, got it upside down. It's going to be hard to embroider it if it goes there. If it comes through here, it extends my work. I don't mind that. Then if the beads whoosh up through here, it's just this little, yeah, I like that. Oh, no, I don't. I think I'm going to do the beading next and then decide where that goes. Yeah, I just feel like I don't want to overcrowd it, and I've got two of them, two of the beads. Like it's just a 2x2 thing happening here. Sometimes the 3x3, I know it's the golden rule, but sometimes it just doesn't work in your piece, and it's all pairs. You just got to, I guess, see how your piece goes. Now, what I might do, oh, we don't have much time, do we? Where did that hour go? For goodness sakes. Maybe I bring it up around the back here. So I have a bit left. Maybe I make it look like the plant is peeking up from behind. Here, behind the music, is another way to approach it. No, that's too big. No. How can one little leaf be so much trouble? I've got two now, so I've just made it even worse. Let's just leave it at that. Let me save what morsels we're going to save. Bin the rest, because they're no longer needed. Have a quick little tidy up. And then I want to pull the beads out and just make our selection of beads for the piece. So let's put these little bits, they just stay on my desk, these back in the small bits box. All right, so we're tidy again. How quickly the time goes. Now I'm pretty confident if I go to my favorite beads, I would find every color I will need. Okay, Reginald's in that bench. So definitely some champagne sequins, definitely. And look, I've got burgundy. Oh, we need to play with those. I've got a mix of pinks. I'd be able to find something in there. Now we just need something a little bit lighter just to soften it, and I'm thinking those. There we go. That'll be the beads that will shimmy across the bottom here up into those flowers. They may even pop out the top there. We'll just see how it goes. And like usual, I'll pick all the big ones first that I want to use. All the bigger elements, like there's some little crystal-y ones in there. So they'll all be put in first. Then I'll probably do the sequins. I'll space them all. And then I backfill with the little beads, and I may even need another, I know the one, the champagne bead, this little gold guy. Put a few of those in too. So there you go. There's the piece. Up the top here, I'm thinking I'll do stitching, just to start that quilted look. And then I'll have a look at each individual piece in the background and whether I need to whip around it to create a little frame or overcast around the edge or just leave it. It will sort of just depend on how it sort of comes together. Okay, and I've still got these two little guys. So I need a little work container. Where's a tray? Here we go. If anyone's wondering what these are, I've got a bit of a passion for Ferrero Rocher chocolates, and these containers are just from them, and they're so handy. I've got my needle pincushion in one because it's dangerous. I grab it and it bites me. There's no cardboard or substrate in there that makes it nice to keep me safe. I made it like when I was 19, so I'm loath to lose it because it's got a few memories. And the thing I like it, this is one of those Ferrero Rocher chocolate things, is the lid still nearby. So whenever I travel, I just do that and it's all protected, and it holds the scissors, it can hold threads. I just love it. Like, I know it's not a conventional pretty needle pin cushion, but I do love it. So it just stays with me and it carries everything I need nice and handy, and it's safe. I'm not getting jabbed. And then these little containers, whenever I have a little project that's going into the next room. See, even some of these little sequins. See, I'm getting sidetracked. What's that there? Yeah, if I'm going into the next room, I know I can grab, look at those, grab it and go. See, there's some soft pink. Might pop them in too. Might just help tie it all together. So there you go. Lovely. Another one. Yeah, really happy with that. I just don't know how I'm going to get that extra petal in, but we'll see. We will see. All right, guys. Look after yourselves. I hope you get some stitching done today. I'm off to have a play with this little piece, find myself a good movie later on once I do some housework, if I have to. Probably won't. Look, they're dust bunnies, and until you have to jump over them, I don't think we really have to deal with them, do we? It's like tumbleweed. Once they're a good 50 centimetres tall or a foot, then we're clean. That's my theory. All right, guys, look after yourselves. Have a lovely day, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye for now.